Very good morning, class 12th. So, this lecture is our last lecture from the chapter Human Reproduction. As we are finished now with all the things, we are left with only placenta and embryonic development, which we are going to discuss today. That after formation of every specific things or germ layers or morula blastula, how now what is the role of placenta and what are the other embryonic development we have to see. So this topic is about the pregnancy and the embryonic development. This topic is mentioned in your NCERT as such, that is the pregnancy and embryonic development. So I'm going to discuss specifically from NCERT only, and few details I will add on wherever it is needed. So as you know that yesterday we discussed trophoblast in very much detail, that what is its layer, what is the embryonal knob. If you have not watched that lecture about the implantation, then I will request you to first watch those two lectures, that is the implantation 1 and 2. You will be able to correlate with me that what is trophoblast I am here talking about. So cells of trophoblast, we know that this is our first layer, that is our trophoblast, right? And inner side there was the inner cell mass. So this was the trophoblast layer, and from trophoblast there were few finger like projections, they were arise. These now trophoblast, that is why we said that they form two layers. The one layer was the chorion, this is called chorion, which actually form chorionic villi, and second is extraembryonic membrane, which is your yolk sac, which is very much reduced in case of humans, right? So two membranes arise from trophoblast. One is the chorionic villi and other one is the extraembryonic membrane. Now today here we are going to talk about chorionic villi. There is a connection between chorionic villi and uterine tissue. As you know that here this structure is attached to this endometrial lining. This lining is your endometrial lining. So this endometrial lining is lining of what, which structure? This is the lining of uterus. So that is why we are saying that there is a specific connection between these finger like projections, which we are calling them as chorionic villi, as well as this uterine tissue. Now that connection is actually the placenta. So now as you can see, you can lock your both hands fingers with each other. If I can show you, I will definitely show you, but I'm not able to show it to you. That if you interlock basically both, just open your hands and lock both the fingers, lock the fingers of both the hands, then there is a connection. So as you can see, the same here, this is the chorionic villi and here is the endometrial tissue. So when they get interlocked, like the fingers of your both hands, they get interlocked with each other, chorionic villi as well as the uterine tissue, they form a structural and functional unit. They form a structural and functional unit, which is a connection between embryo. It is a connection between embryo and maternal body, which is called placenta. So in 10th class we used to discuss like it is a tissue, right, which which is a connection between mother and fetus. Here you have to, in class 12th, you have to be very specific in detail, that it is a connection between chorionic villi as well as uterine tissue, and these chorionic villi and uterine tissue, they get interlocked with each other and then they form a structural and functional unit. किसके बीच में? Between developing embryo as well as maternal body, and this tissue is called your placenta. So if you have to write the definition, what is placenta? It is a mechanical and physiological connection, as you know, because both many functions as well as many things, they are dependent on placenta. So it is a mechanical and physiological connection because many metabolic activities are involved here. So physiological connection, that is why we are writing here mechanical connection, because it is a connecting the mother part of the mother side part to the fetal side. So mechanical. So mechanical and physiological connection between maternal and fetal tissue, that is the definition of placenta. So placenta has generally we write down as a two parts. One is towards the fetal part, towards the fetal side, that is the chorion. So chorion is this these finger like projection, they are towards the fetal side. And maternal part, the endometrium specific layer, if I have to tell you, then myometrium is getting connected with the chorion, right? These chorionic villi, this is the fetal part and this side is the maternal part. Now for your NEET preparation, you need to know that maternal part, maternal side, this placenta has three layers: decidua, basilis, decidua capellaris, decidua parietalis. These are not mentioned in your NCERT, but you need to understand them. Just understand their position, that's it. Decidua basilis is present towards the chorionic villi side, means towards the base. The middle one is the decidua capellaris. This one is the middle one. This is the middle one. Basically it is present between this growing embryo as well as the lumen of uterus. So it is the second layer, decidua capellaris. This is the first one, present at the base, and the outermost is the decidua parietalis. That is all you need to know in at this level in 12th, even for your NEET also. That maternal part has three layers: basilis, capellaris and parietalis. Outermost one is the parietalis, middle one is the capellaris. Now if we talk about weight of placenta, then weight of placenta is 500 grams, and fetus is connected. How this fetus, that growing fetus or embryo, that is connected to this placenta with the help of structure which is your umbilical cord. This is the maternal side. So to the maternal side, this is the fetus, this is the growing fetus. So it is attached to this placenta with the help of the umbilical cord. And umbilical cord, if we talk about its size, it's 12 to 24 inches long. Next is the functions of placenta, as they are very important functions they play. First, as very common functions we know from class 10th, that it provides nutrients and oxygen to the developing embryo. Second most important thing is it help in exchange of respiratory gases. If we talk about carbon dioxide and oxygen, their exchange is also done through the placenta. The most important one is it remove this placenta help in removal of carbon dioxide and waste material. कहाँ से ये waste material remove हो रहा है? From the embryo side. So इसमें help कौन कर रहा है? That is the placenta is helping in this removal. It acts as an endocrine tissue. Now it is a major important function of a placenta, that it acts as an endocrine. Endocrine means it is going to release hormones, and that is why we are saying it produce many hormones. जहाँ पे भी word आए endocrine, it just quickly you need to understand that it is about hormones. कौन से hormones? HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotropin. This HCG is very high in urine if a female is pregnant. So for pregnancy test, when a urine test is done, then HCG's amount is very increased. So this show the positive pregnancy test. If it is very negative, then it show negative pregnancy test. Then is the HPL, human placental lactogen, that is also released by placenta. Then estrogens and progesterone, these all are, as you should know, that HCG, human placental lactogen, and estrogen and progesterone, they all are essential to maintain pregnancy. So if in your option any one of this is given, HCG, HPL, estrogen and progesterone, then quickly you should mark that these are the essential hormones to maintain pregnancy, and who is releasing them? Placenta is releasing them. Other important point, beyond these HCG, HPL, estrogen, in later phase when pregnancy proceed, relaxin is secreted by ovary. Relaxin is another important hormone which is released by ovary. It is also important in the pregnancy. Then estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, they all, their levels, they are increased, and these are increased for maintaining, for basically for helping the pregnancy to be maintained. So if they maintain pregnancy, they are essential for supporting these all hormones, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, estrogen, they all are supporting for fetal growth, as well as they also support for their various metabolic changes in mother. So they also support for that, as well as one important point, they maintain pregnancy. Then is the other function of placenta, it act as a barrier also. Many things, harmful things, they cannot cross the placenta, but few substances like drugs, or if I talk about AIDS pathogen, or if especially the HIV pathogen, it can cross the placenta. So especially in drugs, teratogens. Teratogens are those substances basically which can cause deformities or any damage to embryo. It can cross the placenta. So these are the chemicals, these are the substances, these are kind of drugs which can damage to embryo. So it can cross the placenta and cause the Minamata disease. Minamata disease, there are the flipped hands. There is a deformities in digit or sometime in the hand formation. Flippers, we say it, flippers hands. So there is some kind of, in various areas there can be deformities or damage can be observed. So that is one of the disease, that is the Minamata disease. If the different drugs, they can cause different negative effect if they cross the placenta. Then placenta helps in providing passive immunity, as IgG, it can cross the placenta from mother's body, and mother's body, it goes to the developing embryo. So it means the embryo is getting antibodies ready-made antibodies. So this kind of immunity in which a person is getting ready-made antibody, this is called passive immunity. So placenta helps in providing passive immunity, because IgG, they cross the placenta from mother's body and they reach to fetus. So ready-made antibodies are provided, and these antibodies very helpful for a growing embryo. So IgG can cross the placenta from mother's body. This should, you should know this point, that why passive, because ready-made IgG, they are transferred from mother to fetus. The another important point is that placenta, now there are various nitrogenous waste also accumulated in fetus. So these if they get accumulated, then they get toxic to the baby. So placenta helps in removal of these nitrogenous waste of fetus. When is placenta fully formed? Many times this is asked, that when this structure, this tissue is fully formed in 11 weeks. In 11 weeks, it's full development, it's fully formed in 11 weeks of the pregnancy time. In 11 weeks, it is fully developed, because after that time germ layers, they start developing and there is the organ formation. Now if we talk about the embryonic development, yesterday we discussed about 3 layers, that inner cell mass of blastocyst, if you recall that structure. Outer layer was the trophoblast, or we call it as a trophoectoderm. This was the trophoblast, and there was inner cell mass, and here was the blastocele. So inner cell mass of blastocyst, it develop into three layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Inner cell mass has few cells. Now this few cells, they are called very important cell, that is stem cell. Always remember, viva mein many times these questions they are asked, these small question they are asked in viva, that what are stem cells. Stem cells are those specialized cells which can give rise to any tissue, any organ in your body. So these are those specialized cells in our body which can give rise to any type of, either I talk about heart, either I talk about heart, or I talk about lung, or I talk about liver. So it can give rise to any type of organ or tissue inside the body if these stem cells they are present. So these stem cells are obtained from inner, they are few cells of inner cell mass, they are the stem cells. Even in our body also there are few areas where these cells are present. So next is the very important thing for you, that what is happening in the 9-month period, that during this 9-month duration what is happening, which part is getting developed. Yesterday I told you that heart will develop from this layer, kidney will develop from this layer. Now we will see that what is developing at 1 month. After 1 month heart is formed. It means after 1 month a baby's heartbeat can be audible. You can listen to the baby's heartbeat. End of 2nd month fetus develop limbs, upper limbs, lower limbs, as well as digits, fingers, toes, they all started develop end of 2nd month. End of 3rd month organ system they are developed, like if I talk about kidney, then I talk about respiratory system, then these organs they are developed. 5th month appearance of hair on head as well as fetus movement. So if question comes that when fetus movement is observed, that is the 5th month or sometime end of 5th month, but mostly it comes in 5th month. After 6 month body is covered with fine hair. Now here eyes, eyelids, eyelashes, they are formed in after 6 months. By end of 9 month fetus is completely developed and ready for delivery. So these points they should be known to you if you are appearing for your NEET examination. These every point that should be clear to you. Parturition, average duration of pregnancy, if we talk about, we know that this is a period of 9 months. What is 9 months? That period is called gestation period. Now act of the or the process of expelling होता है बाहर निकालना, expelling, the act of expelling the full term fetus. I have written here now from embryo we have now shifted to fetus from mother's uterus by vigorous matlab continuous contraction of uterus. This process is called parturition. Simple सा मतलब है कि fully formed fetus का जब और बेबी का जब बर्थ होता है by continuous contraction in the uterus, that process is called parturition. So it is a process, it is an act of expelling the full term fetus. होता कैसे शुरू है ये? It is induced. Who starts this? It is induced by neuroendocrine system, मतलब nervous as well as your hormones. Both are playing role here. Both system they are playing role in the parturition. How this fetal ejection reflex happens? The parturition signals actually start from the fully developed fetus. When fetus fully developed, when 9 months they are complete. At the time after 9 months fully developed, there is a signals they come from fetus. Now placenta start inducing mild matlab little slow contraction where in the uterus. This is called fetal ejection reflex. First that is the first reflex which come, that is from the that comes from the fetus, and then placenta induce, it starts saying uterus to now produce contraction and this is called fetal ejection reflex. Once this reflex starts, it trigger now stimulate, or you can say activate. So it activate the release of very important hormone, that is ऑक्सीटोसिन. अब ये ऑक्सीटोसिन के पास जाता है जब इसको रिफ्लेक्स मिलता है. ऑक्सीटोसिन क्या है? दिस इज कॉल्ड बर्थ हार्मोन. जो बर्थ जब हो रहा होता है डिलीवरी के टाइम पे इट रिलीजेज. सो दिस फीटल इजेक्शन रिफ्लेक्स इट एक्टिवेट द रिलीज इट ऑफ ऑक्सीटोसिन फ्रॉम पिट्यूटरी मैटरनल साइड. ऑक्सीटोसिन नाउ जैसे ही ऑक्सीटोसिन बॉडी में प्रोड्यूस होना शुरू होगा, इट इंड्यूस मोर एंड मोर स्ट्रॉन्गर यूटेराइन मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्शन. देयर विल बी मोर stronger contraction in the uterus starts. More stronger contraction, more release of oxytocin, and this is a reflex between. Now there are continuously there is a relationship between contraction and oxytocin secretion. More oxytocin secretion, more contraction, or you can say more contraction, more oxytocin will be released. So more contraction will give rise to the more oxytocin and results in the strongest contraction, which lead to expelling of baby out of uterus through the birth canal, which is your vagina. I hope this flow chart is clear to you, that signals arise from the fetus once it is fully developed. Contractions start in uterus, which is called fetal ejection reflex, and these start producing hormone, which is your oxytocin, and then more and more stronger contraction, and finally expulsion of baby from the birth canal. Now what after baby is now delivered, then the last is the lactation. Means mammary glands are actually, these mammary glands, they are developed in the end of 9 months. There is a mammary gland that start differentiating. So mammary glands, they differentiate. Once they differentiate होने का ही मतलब क्या है? They produce milk at the end of pregnancy, and that phase of producing milk by mammary gland, it is called lactation. So production of milk by mammary glands differentiation, that is called lactation. Why this lactation is important? Why this mammary gland start differentiating? Because mother has to feed his newborn, so that is why they start differentiating. They prepare the body for every step of the pregnancy. So milk which comes from first milk, initial milk which come from mammary glands during the initial days, that is why I told you very first milk which comes, that is called colostrum. Very very important point. Colostrum क्या होता है? Colostrum is the milk which comes initial first milk which comes out from the mammary glands breast, that has several antibodies. Specifically if we talk about antibody, that is IgA, as well as many nutrients. Calcium, Ca is the calcium, and fats, lactose, they are helpful for the baby growth as well as development. And these antibodies, they provide baby the immunity, they give immunity to the baby. So this is all about our chapter of human reproduction. Go through all videos of human reproduction. I hope that you will be able to understand this chapter very well, and you get very good marks, as well as you crack your NEET examination. So if these videos are helpful to you, so I will now meet you with another important chapter. Till then, take care, have a very good day. Thank you.